Hello everyone, this is Nathaniel Barnett here, working on one more update for my service learning project. Um, those of you who may know me, I don't always sound like this, but for the purposes of this video vlog, I felt it was fitting to uh, just provide that little bit extra to make this project something special, something fun. So for the duration of this video podcast, I will do my best to maintain a somewhat alternate accent from my normal form of speech. For this project, if you've been watching my blog, I have followed along with working on Harmony Vineyard Church, a local church in the Kansas City area. They've been in the community for a number of years, and they are currently positioned over off of North Oak and Vivian. For people in the community, they often recognize the building as the one with the jello or stained glass windows. The church is positioned right next to I-29 highway, and it is seen by hundreds and hundreds of people each day as they pass by. The church has actually been there for a long time, but in the modern era, they have been using a lot of different virtual methods of reaching their community and providing their services and their resources. One of the ways that they've been trying to update their resources and the ways they can serve their community is they've been trying to um, make most of their resources available online. One way they do that is through their own website. I believe their website was first put up, I don't know, in the late 90s, early 2000s. And then again in about 2009, 2010, they had a revamp where they sort of reincorporated some core colors, some core themes, and they tried to make it really match the way that the church was decorated on site physically. For the purposes of my project, though, they've been trying to revamp their website again to sort of match, the mobile user base of users that access content online, as opposed to the traditional using a desktop or a laptop. A large portion of online traffic is via tablets and other portable devices. As part of my project, I've been helping the website admin and the online admin for the church to really just try and get the website up and running, work on some backend, and really try to make the website a joy to use for the community and anyone who would potentially access the website for the resources that the church provides. So for this presentation, I'd just like to go over a few things, kind of give a recap of the project that I have performed so far, and then just list, some of the features I've been able to work on. Where the website started, the previous website that they have been using and the current one they are using is following the picture to, um, let me see if I can highlight it for you, for everyone watching. The current website they use is right here, and you should be able to see it in the video, but the website follows a sort of basic color pattern. It is highlighted in the bar at the top of the website and repeated throughout every page so that users can see, the core elements, the core themes. They also stick with a sort of beige background, a gradient for each page. And, after I met with the web administrator for the church, and he met with a focus group of users from the community, we just sort of determined that the website, it really seemed outdated. It was hard to interact with, it was hard to navigate, and it really didn't provide an experience for people visiting the site that would come off as positive or would make someone who visited the site, want to look around for resources, or it just didn't really instill confidence in the user of the website that the church had much to offer. The website was very bland. It featured dull colors. It was hard to navigate, even if you knew what you wanted to get to. Um, it had several layers of abstraction that could have been pulled just in how to navigate to which page. If you wanted to say you wanted to get a podcast of a sermon or a service that was uploaded, you had to follow a couple different layers of pages, and then even then you may have to end up backtracking to go somewhere else. And the final kicker for this website was just the previous website administrator before the one that I was working with for the project. I believe she took on a separate occupation from managing the website for this church, and so the content did not really reflect relevant and current info. And in that case, it really defeats the purpose of a website to be able to transmit information in a very rapid manner. If the information is poor or incorrect, then it just simply does not serve the community well. So that's what we were starting with, and that's where we were at previously, that the church was. For the sake of this project, we've been moving forward, and we have been developing a new website. Currently, it looks much like this image here, a much sleeker design with brighter color patterns as the base, following a sort of a blue, light blue, translucent blue, and then following that up with a yellow and a sort of flame orange. These brighter colors really, the website administrator and I both feel like they really provide a sort of warming and calming environment, and they also reflect the new modern changes that the decorating portion of the physical church has taken on, and we feel like it's a more accurate representation of what the church looks and feels like when you arrive. This new website also takes on features just to try and combat some of the previous problems we experienced. This new website is designed with the user in mind, so to hopefully make it much more easier to navigate and easier to get to the resources that the user wants and needs. Additionally, with the new website admin, he will update and manage content weekly, and so hopefully there will be no more cases as with the previous site of poor information or information that is no longer correct. One particular example is with the previous site, the service times for the church had changed, but the website did not reflect these changes because the administrator was she was not contacted, I believe, to reflect the changes on the site, and there were people showing up, simply put, at the wrong time, hoping that the service was going, but they were uninformed because the website was incorrect. With this new site, we hope to really combat that and to be able to provide an easier interface for web administrators, both the current one and future ones, to update content and notify the public. The future goals with this website really are, like I said before, just to provide a clean online presence that allows, it creates an inviting and aesthetically appealing environment for users when they come to the website. It's clean, it provides easy access to resources, it does not get in the way or interfere with the transmitting knowledge or any sort of information from the website. And the church staff really wants just to make the website a helpful location for people who are looking for the resources that the church provides, and to be able to get updated information as quickly as possible. Although it was not mentioned previously, as you can see in the top left of the picture of the new site, there is the logo for the church, and in the top left of the old picture, there is the previous logo. The logo is reincorporated from the one on the left to the one on the right. This new logo is also in a higher zoomed in form to the far right. This new logo, like I mentioned, incorporates the new colors for the site, and the church really feels like it encapsulates the warm tones, the inviting atmosphere that they're going for. For this project, in terms of my actual project and what I worked on, I really spent a lot of time my initial measuring points and metrics were going to be the number of pages that I built, the features that I implemented, such as navigation and any other sort of user-friendly features, and then additionally just the satisfaction that the web administrator exhibited of my personal work. Once I really got into this project and I met with the web administrator a few times and realized what I'd be doing and what I'd get to do for the project, my metrics had to sort of evolve, they had to sort of change. We realized quickly, or I did at least, that much of the grunt work of building the skeletons of the pages of the pages of the website was implemented by a different person. It was not myself. It was not the web administrator currently. It was implemented by another student from a different school as a project of his own. This is both to the web administrator's preference, as it provided extra work that was really helping the church with their project. So my metrics for my project had to be modified. My metrics then revolved around the subject of, as I mentioned here, the features that I was able to implement, the satisfaction of the web administrator with my personal work, and then the bulk of my work revolved around loading and uploading and really working on the back end of the metadata that the church tries to allocate as resources for visitors to the site. That can be anything from sermons, digital copies, videos, to PDF documents, content that an average visitor to the site or from the community might want to view. And so a lot of my work for this project revolved around the metadata, moving that to the new site from the previous file transfer protocol servers to the new servers for this current site. Along the way, I ran into a few issues, and these were the big concerns for my project. The first and foremost was initially I was told that the web administrator would maintain full authority and design choices with the website. I believed that he would be a kind of end-all be-all for contact for the site, and he would be the go-to person for making decisions. But after working on the project for a week or two, I soon realized that that wasn't entirely the case. He was in charge of much of the design decisions, but there were certain key aspects that the church staff required for there to be multiple opinions from the staff themselves and not just the administrator that I was working with. This process of needing to communicate back with the church staff, it really felt like it slowed down the project, not just my personal project, but the progression of the website. Additionally, the church staff did not always provide sufficient info for us to complete the tasks that myself and the web administrator were trying to work on, and this again I felt like it really slowed us down a little bit. Not to criticize the staff, I mean I understand it must be terribly hard organizing a non-profit and the weekly tasks that go with that, but as far as in terms of this project and the work that myself and the web administrator were trying to accomplish, that poor communication chain or lack of info, it seemed to be a hindrance. Additionally, there were a few more troubles that I felt like I ran into. The second biggest for me was just the varying deadlines between the project as a timeline for UMKC for my Discourse 300 course, and then additionally the timeline that the church itself, Harmony Vineyard, had for the website. The web administrator works multiple jobs and he volunteers at the church part-time, and so the timeline and the relaxed environment that created in terms of working on the website, it really kind of contrasted and kind of was hard to manage with the strict timeline that I had for the UMKC project. And so what this ended up correlating and meaning for me was working in my spare time between classes and working at night in my house, trying to work on the website and then corresponding with the web administrator later, um, about the changes I had made, the additions I had added, and just verifying that those coincided with what he desired for the project. Finally, just the creative nature of the website. It allowed for, as I mentioned here, varied opinions of what the best way to implement things are. And so for me, what that really looked like was, I volunteer for this project, and so even if I had a particular method or a particular way that I felt it should be carried out, I deferred to the web administrator who was truly in charge of the project as delegated by the church. And so I really tried to just be a pair of hands to help and not let my opinions or my will or my want for the project influence too much, as much as just trying to help the administrator accomplish what he needed done, what he wanted done for the website. Because at the end of the day, as much as I want to make something, in my own image or in my best opinion, I was here to help. And so for me, one of the hard things was just trying to defer my opinion and my judgment and doing what I felt was best doing what I felt would best serve the web administrator. Finally, in conclusion, I've talked about the previous website, the current website, and then just a little talked about what I worked on for this project. The website is well underway. It is not released to the public, to the community as of the release of this podcast or my previous blog post. However, I did just want to mention, the church is hoping to release the website as the new website, as the full website for the church, and take down the previous website in January of 2018, which is quickly approaching. The website is well underway. The new site is, like I said, it's designed to both mesh well with laptop users as well as mobile users, tablets, and so with that, the new targeted age range for the website to mesh well is users of mobile devices, which the church approximated between ages of 20 and 35 years, plus or minus 5 years. The main goal of this new website, as it currently is and is by the end of it, is to just provide a functionality that the old site did not, and an easier interface for users to reach the resources available to them. The website is not finished, but it is promising. So far from the work that I have done, the work that the other student has done from another university, and the work that the web administrator has worked on, this really provides a good basis, and it's moving forward well. I do expect that the website will be up and running soon, if not by the January date that they would really like to shoot for. And in summary, I'm really glad to be able to work on this project. I feel like the church, it does a lot for its community, and it provides a good level of resources to the people around it. And as I mentioned in my previous blog post, service is not just for personal benefit. It's not for making yourself feel good. Service is about, laying yourself down and trying to bless or benefit someone else. And I feel like the church really does a good job of that here, and they really try to um, put people before themselves and try to just be the best that they can be to provide for their community and be a good source for resources to help better people's lives. So in conclusion, my project worked on the website for Harmony Vineyard Church, and thank you for watching this video.